I was running an internet company in the 90s, and even after Netscape went public and you had a big surge of use of the internet, there was a period there around 1997 or so where people like Paul Krugman of the New York Times and others were questioning whether or not this internet thing was going to survive, or was it just a fad?
Fax machine.
And, then we saw that hockey stick moment. That's the character of exponential growth, is that you've got that doubling effect, that factoring, that exponential growth. And so now I think we're at that hockey stick moment where you see in the next 6 to 9 months doubling of usage from 150 million to 300 million, and then pretty soon we're going to be over 1 billion. And then Bitcoin will be ubiquitous and entrenched and part of everyday life, and people won't even be thinking about it. They'll be using it, but they won't even know they're using it. Just like people use the internet and they don't really think about the protocol that underlies the internet and how it works and why it works. They just use it. Same thing with Bitcoin. It just becomes part of the fabric of our reality. Yeah. It's happening really fast, but it has a price, and that is what people focus on. And if it's not moving in any given minute of every given day in the direction people want it to move, it becomes like, oh my God, this is not happening as fast as I would. With the internet, it wasn't actually a price that was traded in terms of the where it was in the adoption cycle. Having said that, I'm sure a lot of people would have loved to have the opportunity to actually buy part of the internet, which is what you can do with Bitcoin. You're actually buying something as big as the internet, as ubiquitous as the internet, but you're actually able to own a piece of it. So that's the big difference, and that is what is remarkable in a lot of ways. Well, the design of the protocol invites everyone to join, and it also invites attacks, and the game theoretical aspects of it are intact, and they're working beautifully. So you want as many people to be participating as possible. You want both Russia and Ukraine buying Bitcoin. You want every country to be buying it. You want Wall Street buying it. You want Wall Street trading it. You want Wall Street creating all the derivatives they want to create on top of the Bitcoin stack. The greatest thing we have, though, is the ability to pull our keys off the exchanges. So if they want to create a multi-tiered Ponzi scheme based on a Bitcoin base layer like they do in the gold market, for example, which hasn't had good price discovery now for over 10, 15 years, we have the ability to pull the private keys off the exchange essentially and collapse any major Ponzi scheme. There will be credit cycles. I mean, Bitcoin will still be used as collateral. There's a lot of products here that are being introduced for mortgages and other types of leveraged products, and that's fine. It's pristine collateral. Michael Saylor is now, borrowing against his Bitcoin position
to buy Bitcoin.
He's engaged in a leveraged attack against the dollar, a speculative attack against the US dollar, because if you can borrow money at these artificially low rates that the central banks have kept so low as part of a failed bank policy now for years, and you can buy Bitcoin, you're going to exploit this incredible arbitrage between the central bank totally mishandling policy for over 20 years now, and the presence of this pristine, perfect money Bitcoin. And so Michael Saylor sees that, and he's taking advantage of that. When I talked to Ricardo Salinas Pliego about this, he said he's 60% Bitcoin. And I'm like, well, that's a baby position. You need to get 120% Bitcoin. Everything you have, you need to put it up as collateral and go all in. And he kind of laughed at that. But it's hard to argue with a guy while you're on his jet. Clearly, he's doing something right. With the lack of testosterone in society is causing a collapse in society. These other countries are not afraid of balls, and they'll be in charge. So America has to decide: do we want to be taking orders from other countries because we don't like balls? Or are we going to man up and say we have balls and we're not going to take orders from India, China, Russia, and Iran? We're at the risk of being a subservient housekeeping, house boys, rent boys. There's a nation of rent boys in America that'll be servicing Iranian, Chinese, Russian, and Indian men and women. That's what we're going to end up doing, Scott. Unless we get fucking our balls out and start to be, represent that we have values here. So Bitcoin, everything about Bitcoin represents everything that you would find in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. and everything that we have fought for in this country for over 240 years. So the easy thing to do is just to buy Bitcoin, accumulate Bitcoin, promote Bitcoin, and it's like having balls. If you're a woman and you want to have balls and you want to compete like a man, buy Bitcoin. If you're a man and you want to stop being without balls,
or just have bigger ones,
have bigger balls, buy Bitcoin, and you will take care of your gonad problem. So Bitcoin are basically our balls. That's I think what we're saying here, Scott.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.